¿Quién es Lenin? I'm sorry, sí sé quién eres, Lenin. So I'm just messing around. Yeah, people, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened in the exam. I don't know if you people had some extra confusion. Díganme, ¿estuvo difícil, honestly? O no sabían qué hacer en algunas circunstancias, o qué pasó, para que se mejore en su examen final, porque eso fue parcial nada más. Como les digo nuevamente, se van a tomar en cuenta sus tareas, sus trabajos que mandaron, su project, el que no tuvimos, pero tienen 10 todos en project. Son como 20-30% que quedamos de acuerdo that we were going to assign to the project. And in this case, we're missing one last part, which is participation. And some of you don't really have that much participation. We need more participation, people. We need more participation. And that's it. Pretty much that's it. De hecho, sería todo. A partir de ahí, ya, that's it. Pero yes, people, I was like checking every time that I received a notification, and it was like, fail, fail, fail. And I was like, what? Really? And for once, y se los digo, hasta me... ok, confusas las instrucciones. Quizá tengo que trabajar más en eso para no ser tan confusing in the instructions. Okay, thank you for the advice, man. Thank you. It's valid. Every opinion is valid. Tengo que trabajar entonces to be more clear in the instructions. To be more clear. Thank you for that. Pero les digo, algunos estaban preocupados, hasta me estaban mandando mensajes. No se preocupen, esa no es su calificación final. Todavía están sus trabajos. Están sus trabajos. Los tiempos no eran muy claros en ellas. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, good. Thank you for that. Ajá, no es su calificación final. Algunos dicen, teacher, ya reprobé, ¿qué voy a hacer? No, todavía falta lo de sus trabajos. Si las entregaron a tiempo, faltan sus trabajos, su participación, and that's it. Pretty much that's it. Yo creo que si es posible hoy mismo, se los puedo mandar ya sea a Elier o a Martin, y les mando la lista para que tengan sus calificaciones y echen un vistazo para que vean cómo salieron. Ajá. Okay, good. So having no more, if you people want to add any other extra discussion, algo más que quisieran agregar, people? Something else that you would like to comment before we start, antes de que comencemos? Anything? Another recommendation? No? People, you're mute today. Se acaban de despertar, right? Están en modo zombie. You're zombie mode. Sí, dime, Jafet. Incluso puedes activar tu micrófono. No te preocupes si no quieres estar en el chat. Dime, Jafet, what's up? Como les dije anteriormente, ustedes a veces, no sé si se fijaron, quizá les salió mal por una letrita que pusieron mal. Le salió mal por dejar un espacio extra o poner un punto y se las marcó mal, y ustedes dicen, ¿cómo puede ser si está bien? Para esas situaciones yo estoy tomando mi tiempo y estoy revisando sus reportes paso por paso, sección de examen, para corregir esos pequeños errores. Lógicamente los servidores no son máximos, no son bastante, ¿cómo se dice? Confiables para llevar a cabo eso, así es que estoy revisando examen por examen, quién fue bien, quién fue mal, y por eso, dice, yo quisiera, si va a revisar los trabajos que les hemos entregado, bueno, a mi consideración no los ha firmado, solo algunos. Bueno, sí, de hecho, faltaron algunos que no firmé, sí, tienes razón, hay cosas que no firmé. Pero pues desde que empezó esto de lo de la pandemia y que todo eso, y dijeron que era mejor que no revisarlo, ¿cómo se dice? Lo que ya tenían, pero lo que es hecho en el Google Classroom, y por eso se tomó la decisión, para no estar originando problemas con de que yo perdí el libro, yo no los tengo, a mí no me alcanzó a firmar y todo eso. No te preocupes, men. Si tienes todos tus trabajos y los entregaste a los que subiste a la plataforma, se va a evaluar con esos. ¿Ok? Sí. No problem. Don't worry. Otra cosa, no porque saliste o cuando entregaste tu trabajo yo te puse baja calificación, no sé, un 8, un 7, un 6, dices, bajó y se va a promediar. No, 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 no. Es como uno solo. Si tú entregaste todo, claro, no necesito que saques 10 en todas las tareas, con que los hayas entregado, hayas hecho lo que yo te pedí, con eso es more than sufficient for me. ¿Aquí sí, Joven? Okay, good. Okay, easy. Thank you. Okay, good. So having this in hand, we have to continue. There's still like a couple of topics that we need to check. Todavía hay un par de temas que we need to check. There's some other topics that we need to finish before. Actually, you're having 3 extra weeks. I consider before having a break. You're going to have a break from the 1st to the 10th of July. En este caso, desde el 1 de julio hasta el 10 de julio, ustedes van a estar divirtiéndose, estando libres de clases. Free, 100%. No more waking up in the morning, no more waking up for an online class. No more. So you would be having from the 1st to the 10th, and you're going to be done. But in the meantime, pero mientras tanto, since we cannot go back to normal class, so we still have to cover some extra topics that we're missing. We're going to take the remaining time as we're going to get more advantage as we can. Okay, good. Give me a moment so I can share the screen so you can see. Give me a moment. Okay, good. That is it. Okay, this is something that we're going to start with. Although some of you may have the copies, algunos de ustedes pueden tener la copia, algunos no la tienen. Please, si no, les mandé el PDF. You people have the PDF, ¿no? ¿O ya no lo tienen? ¿Lo eliminaron? ¿Su PDF? Bueno, supongo que algunos lo tienen todavía. I hope you have it. Si no lo tienen, díganme, lo puedo reenviar al grupo. Okay, good. So going back, this is what we are going to talk about. This is Unit 9. We are going to talk about reading. People, I assume that besides having the TV as entertainment, you also take some other extra resources for you to entertain. Algunas veces, no todo es TV and video games. Sometimes we happen to enjoy some sort of like reading. This is an open question. This is an open question, and this is only regarding like personal opinion. People, what is your favorite book ever? ¿Cuál es su favorite book? Let's go on taking. You can name the name of the book only. You can name the name of the book only. What is your favorite book? The book that you said, well, in high school, in junior high, cuando estaba en la secundaria, cuando estaba en prepa, cuando estaba en la primaria, yo leí, hay uno que los obligan a leer. ¿Cuál es el que los obligan a leer cuando están en primaria? Que todos hablan de él. Hay varios libros que los obligan a leer. The Mr. Quixote, Don Quijote. Ese te obligan a leerlo, creo que en la primaria. I think it's mandatory for you to read it in the primary school, ¿no? Creo que es primary school, the one that you read it. Creo que es en la primaria, donde te obligan a leer a Mr. Quixote. What is another one that is mandatory in primary school? En secondary school, tenemos a Gaby entrando. Mira, Gaby. Gaby is joining in. Hello, Gaby. Good morning. Good morning, Gaby. Okay, good. ¿Cuál otro? What is another book that you people are forced to read? ¿Cuál es otro libro that you're... Anne Frank. Anne Frank's Diary. El libro de Anne Frank. Creo que es otro que te obligan en secondary school. For you to learn a little bit more of life and how difficult. Ese es el Periquillo Sarmiento. Thank you, man. Yeah, el Periquillo Sarmiento. Ese te obligan, creo, en primary school. El Periquillo Sarmiento primary school. Yeah, that is another one. Thank you. Okay, good. What is another book that you people are forced to read during primary school or secondary school or even high school? What is another book that you people are forced to read, that you don't decide to read it, but you are forced to read it? The problem and the big difference between reading something that you enjoy and reading something that you have to because you have a homework, because you need to write a report, because your mark depends entirely on the reading of the book, is because sometimes you don't find it attractive. People, you have several options, and sometimes you don't find it attractive. Let's say girls probably remember Stephen Meyer, how famous she became with the Twilight series. ¿Se acuerdan qué tan famosa se volvió este Stephen Meyer con sus Twilight series, con los lobos ahí transformándose y vampiros de cristal? I don't know, that reflect the crystal light in the sun. I don't know, something like that. And girls were like reading those books, But you as a man, uno, por ejemplo, me, in my personal opinion, I started reading because I was recommended by one friend to read it, but the friend was a girl, and you started like reading, and then you feel the essence of the romantic scene, traveling. Oh, that was too romantic. Era muy romántico for me, so I wouldn't tolerate it. Entonces no toleraba tanto palabrerío romántico, right? Sometimes we are not meant to some books. Let's take a look. Let's take a deeper dive, in this case, to the selection. I want you to focus your attention on this side. So on this side, you have a selection of several categories of books. You have comic, you have crime novel, you have fairy tale, fantasy, graphic novel, historical fiction, which is something that I do like, horror, one of my favorites, play. Play is like a play, like a pamphlet for you to read and start on a play. Obra, romance, science fiction, and thriller. So let's go back and take a deep dive. Let's try to give a number to each of this. In this case, we have only. It was 7 books here. We have 7 books, but let's try to give it. Let's try to give it a little bit of understanding here. What is happening? People, if you wanted to say, let me eliminate this. If you wanted to say that letter A is going to be put into a category, what do you put the Little Red Riding Hood in a category? Obviously a horror. Well, there's something that we need to talk about. The version of for children is that Little Red Riding Hood is visiting her grandmother in the woods, and the wolf eats the grandma, which is not for children. The wolf eats the grandma and takes the role of the grandma, and he's in the bed, and he's trying to convince Little Red Riding Hood for him to eat her, because apparently people are delicious for wolves. But the real version is that, I don't know, people, if you had the time, the version is that there's a guy that is a hunter, and he hunts down the wolf. He opens up the belly of the wolf, and he extracts the granny from his belly. So he swallowed granny completely. What an enormous mouth, ¿no? Qué bocota tan grande tenía. Ese sí tenía grande la boca, el wolf. Okay, good. So going back a little bit, let's put them into categories. I'm sorry. So Little Red Riding Hood, what is the proper category for Little Red Riding Hood? It could be a comic. It could be a crime novel. Well, There is crime. There is crime and violent scenes, but not a crime novel. A fairy tale? What is a fairy tale? I think. Oh, fantasy. Graphic novel. You have historical fiction, horror, play, romance, science fiction, and thriller. I think. I think the most suitable would be fairy tale, no? El más suitable would be fairy tale. Let me just get it together. Yeah, let me just get it together. So we're going to going this with fairy tale. I think it's the most reliable category for you to put it. What do you think about the other? Look at the cover of the book. It's like in the outside, and there's this satellite floating in midair, and you have Alastair Reynolds, and it's like some sort of like a space thing going on, So, what do you think about that one, Alastair Reynolds? What is that? What could be the perfect category for this? Any idea, people? What could be the perfect category for this? Alastair Reynolds. Do you think it's a graphic novel? Is it historical fiction? What do you think it is? What do you think it is? Is that a thriller? Is that a graphic novel? No? No comments, people? Really? No one is commenting? Really, people? You're falling asleep, right? Se están durmiendo, right? Vamos a hacerle como en la primaria. Vamos a activar todas las cámaras y les voy a pedir que se pongan de pie y todos brincando en un pie para activación física. Después se van a frotar su estómago y después estirarse y ahora sí. I think that is a good option to go because you people are falling asleep. People, last question. Last time I asked Alastair Reynolds, what is the best category for Alastair Reynolds? What is the best category? Fantasy? Do you think it's fantasy? Or is it historical fiction? Or it's a thriller? What do you people think? Historical fiction? Historical fiction? Well, could be. Puede ser. Why not? Okay, some of the possible, the problem for that book is that he has several possible options. One is historical fiction, could be, it could be. Another could be, in this case, a graphic novel. Okay, good. Or science fiction, that is another. We could be having Alastair Reynolds as science fiction, could be another science fiction, that could be. Or probably we are described something happening and it's a crazy stuff, and it can happen to be a thriller. So there's some extra options that the book can have. No solamente se puede estar en uno. Necesitamos ver el content, or at least read the synopsis to identify what this book is about. What do you think about letter A? We have Bram Stoker, Dracula. What is the best category? That is easy to get. Bram Stoker, Dracula. I think you were forced to read this one in secondary school. A mí me obligaron a leer esto en secondary school, Bram Stoker, because of the different types of reading, because of the different vocabulary that you have in the reading section. Another, in this case, we could go for Dracula. We could go for Dracula as fantasy. Yeah, is correct. Or horror. We can go for horror. We can go for horror. Or we can go for fantasy. Any of those two. Es double arrow. Es doble flecha. Una flecha que emerge de la otra. Okay, good. I think I messed up. Creo que ya la regué. Okay, good. But yeah. Horror and could be fantasy. That is another one. Good. So what do you think about Hamlet from Shakespeare? Shakespeare in Love. Okay, although it's a play, aunque es un panfleto para una obra con los diálogos de la obra, it can also be falling into the romance category. Puede también caer dentro de la categoría de romance because of the in this case, do you know Hamlet, people? The treason, the king, the poisoning, envenenar al rey, remember? Hamlet, the crime, the crime, hay crimen, I love, there's crime, there's treachery, hay traición, Ok, good. Solo la conozco por los Simpsons. Qué bueno los Simpsons por educarnos así. Ya algunas veces, créanme, cuando estaba en historia y el profe hablaba de Grecia y de los dioses y cuál era su función y quién se peleó con quién mató a quién y quién era hijo de quién, jamás le puse atención. Pero when I started playing PlayStation 2, God of War 1, 2, 3, 4, I learned more about their culture through the games than in actual class. Aprendí más a través de los juegos por la cultura, in this case, all of the Zeus, Hercules, Aphrodite. Aprendí más in the video games than in the actual books. Creo que es because of what you like. Y dices, no, tengo que poner atención aquí, not to miss the story of the game. Para no perder la historia del game. Okay, good. Thank you. Next one. I don't know if you see that, but it's some sort of like dragon. Braxton. I think the pronunciation of this book is Brasileron. Brasileron. I don't know, but I cannot do the pronunciation with the NGR. Brasileron. It's about this dragon. Who is a mystery because some say it exists, some say it is not, and this person wants to hunt him to prove that he's an actual real man. Dice, yo lo voy a cazar porque soy un cazador de verdad. So, in what category we could put this book? Fantasy could be a good category for including this. Fantasy could be a good category. Another good category for this could be science fiction. It could be another good category. I don't know, probably there's some mutilation. There's some mutilation. We could have also, historical fiction. That could be another. ¿Recuerdan Beowulf? Hace algo de tiempo que creo que también es uno de los obligatorios que los hacen. Espérame un tantito. Creo que Beowulf también los obligan a leerlo y Beowulf era un mentiroso y contaba sus historical fiction. Era una historical fiction. Puede también caer dentro de esa categoría. Beowulf era un mentiroso de primera hasta que se topó con la verdad y afortunadamente todo salió bien y pues todas sus leyendas de hoguera que se contaban sobre él peleando sobre gigantes, pues resultaron bien. Ahora no, pero a ese mentiroso le fue bien. Eso está genial. ¿Sí han leído Beowulf? Ahí está una película, creo, donde Angelina Jolie es the star. she's like a witch, I think. Creo que es una bruja en una cueva. I don't know. Fue un personaje inventado porque esa bruja no aparece así, aparece diferente. Ajá, y le quita parte de su vida como un trato. Ajá, no recuerdo muy bien. But yeah, there is a movie. Okay, good. So just to finish this up, we have next one, The Bourne Identity. The Bourne Identity. This could be a crime novel. This could be a crime novel, or what? It could be a thriller. Could be a thriller. Could be a thriller. Could be a thriller because of the many kills that he does. Because of the many kills that he does. Because las muertes y la sangre y todo eso. Okay, good. Next one, Nancy Mitford, Love in a Cold Climate. Amor en un clima frío. Obviously, this is some sort of like romance. It's like romance. It's like too much. I don't know, but that is too, well, it looks like too touchy. Too touchy. In this case, I wouldn't actually consider this to be good. Well, in my personal opinion, probably you people find it attractive. This would be only in my personal opinion. Okay, good. Let's go on to next. Let's go on to next. Let's just respond a couple of questions and then we move on. Respondiendo un poquito de unas preguntas and then we move on. Number one, people, what is your favorite category for you to read? Do you like science fiction? Do you like reading about science fiction? Do you like comedy? Do you like romance? Do you like horror? What do you prefer? In my personal opinion, I think I go for fantasy. I look everything that has to do with fantasy, things that don't exist. When it regards fantasy, I like it. Cuando involucra a criaturas mitológicas, like hippogriffs, like, I don't know, dragons, witches, wizards, everything, goblins, everything connected to fantasy, I like it. I like it. Like, I love the Narnia books. I love them. I love Narnia books. I also like the Journey to the Center of the Earth. I like that book. I like the, what is that? Treasure Island. I also like that one. Treasure Island is really good. It's a really good fantasy novel. What else? Horror. I also like horror. Stephen King, The Dark Tower. La Torre Obscura de Stephen King, fantastic. La Torre Obscura, Las Tierras Baldías. Oh my God, it's crazy. That is a crazy story. I don't know if you people remember, there's like some extra books based on novels like this, like The Shining is crazy. Read The Shining. Also, Psycho was adapted. Psycho is a movie which is in black and white, which is one of my all-time favorites. It's a fantastic movie. And the adaptation from the book, although some things were changed, is still good. It's still good. What? Betsabe estaba dormida hasta ahorita despertó. Okay, good. So let's go this super fast. Let's go and take in this super fast. Hello, people. Okay, good. Give me a moment so I can close this up a little bit. Solo para acercarlo un poquito. I want you to go and concentrate in the section that reads non-fiction. Concentrados en la parte que dice aquí non-fiction. Good. Tenemos, in this case, tenemos book titles. Tenemos que es un atlas, autobiography, biography, cookbook, dictionary, encyclopedia, guidebook, manual, newspaper, and textbook. Tenemos la definition y tenemos la description. So let's try to connect it. Discover Venice. El título del libro es Discover Venice, Descubre Venecia. Obviamente es un guidebook. This is for you when you are going to travel, what interesting and attractions you have in the place. What people love it, What recommendations you have for restaurants, for locations for you to visit. It's a guidebook. But what do you think about next one? How to get the most from your digital camera. How to get the most from your digital camera. ¿Cómo sacarle el mayor jugo a tu cámara digital? Ese es el título. So, ¿qué será? ¿Es un autobiography? ¿Es a manual? ¿Es a cookbook? Okay, we have one response. Tenemos una respuesta. Okay, good. Me gusta, me gusta. People. Manual. ¿Será manual? Wee. Es manual. Okay, good. Es manual. Yes. Sí, es manual. Okay, good. Next one. Number 3. El título es My Life by Bill Clinton. Creo que esto es más que obvio. My Life by Bill Clinton. Mi vida por Bill Clinton. So, obviamente, es una... A ver, creo que ya dijeron la response. Autobiography. Una autobiografía. Excellent. Es an autobiography. Is correct. Si él está describiendo su vida, pues es una autobiography. Good. Next one. We have Shakespeare by Bill Bryson. Shakespeare by Bill Bryson. What do you think is this? It's close to previous definition. It's close. It's a biography. With the sole difference that Shakespeare didn't do it. Shakespeare is dead. En este caso, debe ser un experto about Shakespeare. Y Shakespeare está muerto. Él no pudo haberla hecho. Así es que alguien más la hizo. Así es que it's called a biography. Good. Next one. My grandmother's Chinese kitchen, 100 family recipes. La cocina china de mi abuela, 100 recetas para cocinar. Es a cookbook. Tenemos, es un cookbook. Está bien, es un cookbook. La next one. Let's go on next one. Sí, es un cookbook. Next one, number 6. Europe. World in maps. Europa. El mundo en mapas. What is this? What is this, people?
Un atlas.
It's an atlas. Obviously, it's an atlas. Okay, good. Una palomota ahí. The Times. The Times. Hay el New York Times. Hay Mississippi Times. Bueno, aquí no se llaman Times. En México no le llamamos Times. Nosotros le ponemos la nota roja. Nosotros le ponemos La Tarde. Hay un periódico que se llama La Tarde. ¿Qué más? ¿Cuáles son nombres de periódicos like around here? El Sol de Acapulco, El Sol de Chilpancingo, things like that. Is newspaper, is correct. Next one, gateway. What is a gateway? Es el que estamos leyendo, es un gateway. Es un libro, es un textbook. Es un textbook. Y el número